Oh, do you see this?
这个饺子也特别好吃啊，特别好吃。
Home to thousands of terracotta soldiers hidden beneath the soil, today we're exploring one of China's oldest cities, Xi'An. But there's more to Xi'an than just its ancient foundations. The city's soul is best preserved in its noodles, spice, fire, and oil. To truly understand this former capital, you have to eat your way through it. For the next 150 hours, we're going to explore the best of Xi'an, eating like a true local. This is episode 2 of our China series. Welcome to the oldest city in China.
大家好, newbies. We are in Xi'an.
There's a saying in Chinese that goes like this. To see 10 years of China, go to Shenzhen. To see 100, go to Shanghai. To see 1,000, go to Beijing. But to see 5,000 years of China, you go to Xi'an. With that in mind, there's no better place to start our journey through Xi'an than at its ancient city walls.
In order to understand Xi'an, you need to understand the history first. And before it was called Xi'an, it was called Chang'an. And the reason why this place is so important to China is because this was the capital during the Qing dynasty and the Tang dynasty. So under Qin, the region was tied to the first unification of China. And then under Han, Chang'an grew into one of the world's greatest cities and the Silk Road expanded from here. That's why in a lot of the foods, you're gonna see a lot of Muslim influences because if you trace back the Silk Road, it was going through the Middle East and it wasn't just one road either. It spread to many different parts connecting Europe to China. And this is the city wall that guarded the capital. So inside the city wall is where the king and the nobles would live, and then outside is where the regular families would live. And the wall itself, once you're up here, you kind of almost forget that it's a road because it's so wide. It feels like a small highway. And right now it's the Spring Festival, so they're doing a lantern show and the lights turn on at 6. We're gonna grab a little quick bite before the lights turn on, but we want to come check it out.
Xi'an, you'll notice a lot of people in Hanfu because social media and influencers in Chinese called Wanghong have made it a huge trend. But first things first.
For our first meal here in Xi'an, we're gonna get Biang Biang noodles.
This is how you write Biang Biang. For one of the most complicated characters to write in Hanzi, it's a humble staple beloved by locals that has become one of the defining dishes of Xi'an and noodle dishes of China.
For our first meal here in Xi'an, we decided to get Biang Biang noodles. So Biang Biang noodles are these types of really thin, wide noodles, and it gets its name from the way that it's shaped. They're constantly making it fresh over there. The guy is rolling out the dough preliminarily, then it goes to another guy who slaps it on the counter, which is then making the Biang Biang sound, and then it gets dropped into the water as one whole piece. The noodles are only cooked for a minute or two, gets drained and put into the bowl, and you get a huge assortment of toppings, but most notably is the chili oil cauldron in the center. And right before you get your bowl, she finishes off with a sizzling aromatic oil on top, so it gets that nice sound. You know that this is a place that the chili oil is really good because they're selling it right here. I like the little 2 quail legs on top as well. And here we have some blanched bok choy, and look how wide these noodles are. You also get a little bit of meat and vegetables. It also has diced potatoes and tomato leeks. Look how the oil clings onto the noodle. This is bigger than my head, and my head's pretty big. You know, it kind of reminds me of those like super viral Japanese thin udon, but this is like the origin. I think a lot of New Yorkers would agree with me that they know Xi'an's famous foods, and that was my first introduction to Biang Biang noodles, and it changed the trajectory of my life. Feels very surreal to try it in the birthplace. You get a little bit of cumin, chili, a little bit of acidity coming from the pickles. The sauce is really, really good. But the key element here, and that's really surprising to me, is how soft and silky the Biang Biang noodles are. Wow. Sometimes with fresh pasta or any type of fresh noodle, it's really easy to overcook it, right? But with this, there's still a nice bite to it and silky soft smoothness. And I think it can only be achieved because it's so wide, and then inside still has a little bit of that bite and it's perfect with the sauce. It is crazy good. It's everything you want after leaving the airport at 5 a.m. and having this as your first meal. Insane. I slightly felt like a pasta machine, but like reversed. The sheets of pasta actually goes inside. 非常好吃的. This is exactly what I want. I wanted to coat my lips like lip liner. Quail eggs dipped in chili oil is better than Quaaludes, kids. Remember that. It ended too soon, but we're gonna try and pace ourselves so that we can try a lot of food while we're here in Xi'an. Before we go on to have more food, something you should know before you come to China is that it is incredibly digital. Everything from street food and museums and hailing a cab, you need to have a payment system called Alipay or WeChat Pay, meaning your phone needs to be ready and connected at all times. That's why you need an eSIM like today's sponsor, Airlo. You already know this by now, but eSIMs are an essential part of my travels. It's so easy. Before I leave, I just open my Airlo app, choose the country I'm traveling to, and it's installed in under a minute. If you haven't heard of Airlo before, it's the world's first eSIM store and is available in over 200 plus countries and regions all around the world. It is 100% digital, meaning there's no physical SIM cards or airport kiosks. Plus, I get to keep my home number while using local data abroad. For this China trip, I literally stepped off the plane, turned my eSIM on, and I was connected instantaneously. And guess what? The first 100 people to use my code DOOBY will get 20% off their first eSIM purchase. So if you have a trip coming up, you can just buy and activate it later. Again, that's code DOOBY for $3 off your first eSIM, or if you're among the first 100 people, you get 20% off. That's it. Let's go eat some more food. This time, we're gonna go outside the city gate to get some mutton buns.
Just outside the city wall is a moat built as a first line of defense against enemy invaders, but now it's become a place where people come and chill and feed carps.
Too many. It's gross. Yangro Po? Yangro Po or Yangro Po?
Yangro Po.
Yangro Po. We're gonna eat some Shaanxi special Yangro Po. Yangro Po.
When you walk in, you'll see people shredding their bread, and at the counter, the guy will ask if you'd like to shred it yourself or pre-shredded, which you can tell from our sign language. And we also decided to get a plate of cold dishes, liáng chai, a halal-style cold appetizer plate, which you can pick and choose.
So you can get 4 toppings, and I'm getting the peanuts, some lotus root, definitely some seltus. 你喜欢的酸菜是什么? Asked which one was his favorite, and he said he liked the potato. 谢谢. Wow. So you get it like this. And you can get 4. This might be probably the most iconic dish that represents Shaanxi, and I know that I already said that Biang Biang was one, but I think for a lot of people living in Xi'an, they would pick this as their favorite food. So this is baked bread called xiaobing. And the way you eat this is really interesting. You cut it into little pieces like this, and this is gonna be the base for absorbing lamb meat soup that's commonly eaten in this area. You can obviously see that this is a dish with Muslim influence because this kind of resembles almost like a pita bread, but the only difference is that instead of having it on the side, you use it almost like as a substitute for a rice because you want to eat it with soup. And once you're done with your bowl of shredded bread, you bring it up to the counter. But then the next question is, how do you know if that bowl of shredded bread is yours, right? That's why you get a clip. We're gonna be 35-4. I'm gonna put it on the side like this, so you know this one's ours. New spoon unlocked. It's like in between a Japanese ramen spoon and a Thai stainless steel spoon in one. I like it. You'll be coming home with me. Not here, but like in a kitchen utensil store. So this is what it looks like. It has a very lamby aroma that's very oily, but it smells really good. And when he stir fries it, he also stir fries with a handful of vermicelli noodles. So the way you eat it is we have our broken up bread that's been cooked into softness. I'm also going to do a little bit of noodles and topping it off with our Yangro lamb on top. Wow, so tender, it's just falling apart. So the bread is quite dense, and as it cooks in one of the most fire raging hot jet fuel wok I've seen, it absorbs all of that lamb broth. Lamb is also quite rich. I understand why this is a dish commonly eaten here because it's a northern province, and especially during the winters in Shaanxi, it can get very, very cold. So you need to have food that is nourishing and fatty, that's gonna keep you full for a long time. And now that the sun is setting, this is actually the perfect meal. It's very brothy, very different from what we ate this morning. Imagine if you made oatmeal, but with lamb, like a savory oatmeal. It almost tastes very similar to congee if you close your eyes, and it's really, really satisfying. And then on the side, it comes with pickled garlic. I'm gonna do as the locals do. So people usually take a bite of this and then cut it with a little bit of pickled garlic. Completely changes the dimension of the dish. Before it was very heavy and oily, but with the pickled garlic, it's a little sweet. It adds a little bit of that bitter, pungent note, and together it makes it very, very light. Completely cuts through some of the gaminess. I don't know why, but if I ate a bowl of this before my long road on the Silk Road, I'd be a happy spice merchant. And by the way, if your stock runs a little low, you can ask for more soup. And it comes back replenished like this with more soup. You know what this dish reminds me of? Chicken matzo ball soup. Couldn't pinpoint. I was like, there's something that tastes like it. What I remember from Passover Sedar. 谢谢. So this is date tea, and it's to cut in between the slightly fatty notes from the Yangro Po Mo. So kind of like banchan, you can order a side plate of different various side dishes. We went for lotus root, celtus. It has like a texture in between broccoli and celery. And we also got some peanuts. Bomb. A little bit of veggie on this side because I don't want to be constipated. Acidic, fresh, and simple. Really nice. To the lanterns we go.
We're heading back to the city wall to see the night view for Xi'an Spring Lantern Festival season running from January 1st through March 22nd. Although it's quite warm during the day, at night the temperature drops, so we decided to get a bucket of Şīběi Lǎo Mǎ Jiā, aka snow pear white fungus soup.
The pear is so hot.
Since this is the zodiac year of the fire horse, you'll find a lot of horse lanterns neighboring each other. Get it? But really, it's magnificent, with lanterns as long as your eye can see along the ancient walls with the historic Chang'an imagery. It's quite the sight to see, with the old and new coming together. But after an early dinner and a long walk along the city wall, we were feeling quite peckish, so we headed over to the Muslim quarter.
We're gonna get some mutton barbecue to take the edge off as a little nightcap for the night.
In Xi'an, Xi'an, the Hui Quarter is one of the oldest and most significant Muslim districts in China. Since Xi'an was the eastern starting point of the Silk Road, the Hui identity there is deeply tied to the history of merchants and soldiers who traveled between China and Central Asia. Over time, these Muslim communities settled in China and intermarried with local populations. While there's many ethnic Muslim populations in China, the Hui people are distinct for being linguistically and culturally more Han Chinese while maintaining a deep Islamic faith. The Hui and Hui people are the same character to return, and this return is also felt at the table where they've spent centuries redefining Qingzhen cuisine, aka Chinese halal food, by applying Chinese technique to bold spices and meats from the West. A great example of that is Chuan'r, aka lamb skewers, of taking the nomadic tradition of open fire roasting and blending with spices like Sichuan peppercorns, cumin, and chili.
Every time the grill grills something in bulk, the aunties like yell out whatever is freshly grilled and asking who wants it. And people are very anxious to get the freshly grilled items. It is very much like the dim sum cart culture. It is competitive. You need to yell out what you want in order to get the goods. So we ordered 10 skewers of the lamb and 10 skewers of the beef, and wow, the way that the grill master is constantly moving around the skewers like a fan and then basting it with a stickier sauce so that all the spices can latch on. It's salty, it's fatty, but you get that nice smoky spice mix with the cumin, undernotes coming through. It's everything you want at night. Oh, 谢谢. And then we also ordered Xinjiang naan, and look at the za'atar mix that's encrusted with the spice. You can think of this as kind of the Chinese pizza because the dough is quite similar. So you get the naan that is very typical of Xinjiang, and they're grilling it everywhere on the street. There's so many bakeries that are specializing in grilling this type of naan. And then what they do is they baste over the excess lamb fat and beef fat so that all the spice mixture sticks, and then grilling it over high heat to make sure everything is well encrusted and golden brown. A little bit of bread, a little bit of skewer. It's a match made in heaven. Trust me. You know what? I was a little sad that there wasn't beer, but this is Zhongguo Xi'an. This is like the Xi'an soft drink. Tastes one-to-one like Fanta and Orangina mixed together. Better than Fanta. It definitely tastes more like fruit. Wow. Okay, that's gonna be a good night from me. I am so tired. I'll see you tomorrow morning, and we're gonna be visiting the Southgate morning market. 早上好! It is a beautiful morning in Xi'an, and today my outfit is inspired by Maki from Zenin Clan. That's a JJK reference. Not gonna lie, we woke up a little late because I think I overextended myself last night after getting in so early, but it was totally worth it. But we're gonna walk over to the morning market and catch a little glimpse and grab a little breakfast bite. A little morning dojang to jumpstart the day. So this is 7 yuan and it comes warm, and you can customize how sweet you want it. I asked for 一点, which is a little. This is also infused with jasmine flower, so you get that nice floral note as well as a soft, milky, silky texture, and it just kind of like warms your body. I feel like coffee is like, it like punches you to wake up, but this is like a warm, subtle waking up.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy.
So we got a chive-filled pancake, and she's making it on the spot. It's filled with chives and vermicelli noodles, and it's wrapped around a thin yeasted dough, and also laminating with oil so that the oil seeps into the dough, and as it slips into the hot oil, it puffs up. So look at how the bubbles rise. Beautiful. Nice chive smell going on with a lot of black pepper. This tastes exactly like what you would expect it to taste like, and that is a splendid thing. It is oily, it's donutty, it's chivy. I have nothing else to say than that.
去研发、必研发都是来自开会。
And then she gave me a children's rhyme to study Chinese, and I had no clue what it was. Another must-eat from Xi'an is this sticky date pudding. So this is glutinous rice, and then on top you can see the big juicy dates. 名字是什么？
长青胖子蛋糕。
长生胖子蛋糕。
胖子蛋糕。
That's the name. It's served warm, and usually vendors come out in the morning with big cauldrons like this and then sell a little. I like the attention to detail of when she pours it into the container. She does the date paste on top so it looks extra delicious. It's sweet, it's sticky, it's glutinous rice, freshly steamed. In between layers is a sticky date paste, and wow, look how it glistens in the sun. Look at how sticky this is. I want to get sticky and freaky. Amongst other freaky things, I'm sure, but this is comfort in your mouth. It's okay, it's okay. We're eating it so scrumptiously. He beckoned us over for another extra serving. Oh, so kind. Let's see what else this market has. Woo!
And if you thought we were done with eating breakfast already, you must be new here. We saw a place next door selling bo chai mian, aka spinach noodles, and a father and son duo slurping away deliciously, so we had to sit down for a bowl.
I 喜欢辣的啊，非常好哇。So these are another iconic dish. So many iconic dishes that you have to try in Xi'an, but this is one of them. And it is spinach noodles. And you get the green color from the noodles by adding in pulverized spinach that's been blanched. And it's so pretty. And then it's topped off with potato, tomato, a little more chives, and a little bit of beef. And wow, this looks like a healthy bowl of carbs. What I really love about food in Xi'an is the balance. If Chengdu, which we went last year, is the master of chili oil and spice, Chengdu is the master of chili crisp. It's about pulverizing the chili, cooking it in aromatic oil to draw out its beautiful smoky flavors, and using it as a coating essence to make food incredibly delicious. Of all the noodles that we've tried, this one is the closest to fettuccine noodles. It's something that you would be able to find in Italy, except this one is just dressed in a shit ton of chili oil, and it's so good. The little chives that's sticking to the noodles, that's a really nice aromatic finish. So this is egg that they fry every morning, as the owner said. And it's just a whole egg that's been deep fried in a large cauldron of oil, which is why it retains this shape. A good cook on an egg. You have the still jamminess, and then all the whites are set. This is a very classic way of preparing Chinese style eggs. It's almost like in between a hard soft boil and like a deep fried egg. But look, all the whites are fully cooked. Respect. If the noodles get a little bit cold, you add a little bit of the cooking water to mix everything so that it doesn't clump up. Details! This is the shit I love as a food nerd. Hospitality in Xi'an has been incredible. Like, people are so kind, and the food is incredible. Actually, what I really like about this dish is that the noodles have like a slight bit of bitterness coming from the spinach, and it works really, really well with the fragrant chili oil and everything. Like it kind of like balances it out. And plus, it makes me feel a little less guilty about eating so many carbs because there's vegetables. I'm so full after carb on carb on carb breakfast, and just to press it all down, we're gonna get some milk tea. Ever since I discovered premium milk tea places, I'm never going back to Gongcha. Switching up on my day ones. We're gonna head outside the palace gates and then go to Wild Goose Pagoda. You little silly goose. Saw the coolest lady making these jiaobian. It's a wheat batter, and then it's embedded with sesame, and she pours it on to this machine that she's like rotating on the side with a little crank. Oh, so crispy! So it's 10 for 10 yuan, but then because we were so full, we did buy the whole packet, but only took 2. And now I'm regretting not taking the rest of the 8. It's a sweet cracker, and it's really airy and crispy. And what's very important is that it's not too sweet, which is why I feel like I could eat 10 easily on a setting. It's like somewhere in between a biscuit and a cracker. It kind of feels like a gigantic cannoli that's not filled. That looked wrong. There's a little massage session thing going on over there, and that lady's literally just hammering that dude. I might get one. Look at it. Everyone's just chilling in this park, getting some good food from the market, coming over where the sun is, playing some cards, getting massages. Life's chill. Kugisaki looks a little different in China. Okay, a little bit of a sidetrack, getting my ass beat by like a 70-year-old lady, but we're en route to Wild Goose Pagoda now. We're buying tickets to get into the Wild Goose Pagoda, and then there is a museum inside.
Inside the grounds of the Wild Goose Pagoda is a park lined with cherry blossom trees with people out enjoying the spring weather and taking photos. We were enjoying the park and the cherry blossoms when a tiny little tour guide approached us.
What's your name?
My name is Miko.
Miko, I'm Tina. Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
You have seen a bell and drum tower in the center of Xi'An. Actually, you can find the bell tower and the drum tower in many ancient buildings because they were built for a very practical reason, to tell people the time. In ancient China, people struck the bell in the morning and beat the drum in the evening. They did it in the fixed time so the people in the temple know what time is it. Told me this way, there were 10 very big trees in here, and that one is 1,300 years old.
Wow.
Initially, this pagoda was 45 to 55 meters tall, with 15 floors, but in past 1,300 years, there were more than 70 earthquakes, and some of them were quite severe, leaving the pagoda 42 meters tall, with only 13 floors now.
Oh, so it was 45 to 55, so it was much bigger back then.
2 floors get down
Ah.
because earthquakes.
There's a lot of kids that are volunteering to work in the pagoda usually for like extracurriculars, and Miko was super kind enough to approach Kevin and ask for a tour. Yeah, I wasn't there. It was just Kevin. That was the cutest tour guide I've ever seen in my life. No visit in a cultural landmark is complete without some ice cream. So this is the pagoda-shaped milk ice cream. It's cute. So you can see the pagoda in its full form. Restored. We're gonna eat this and bring this over to see some cherry blossom. This is the best time of year to come to Xi'an.
After a little ice cream break and some dope shots, we headed over to the museum inside the park to check out Tang Dynasty relics from the place where the Silk Road began.
So this is the map of the Silk Road, what it used to look like. You can see Xi'An all the way up from the eastern side, which is the starting point, and it, like a spider web, just goes across the entire continent. And then it ends in Rome. So silk was one of the most coveted things for Roman nobles. So that was one of the biggest things that were traded from China to Rome. So this is what a Silk Road entourage would have looked like. You can even see some of the camels here. You can also see some of the horses carrying tiger skin for trade. So this is from the Tang Dynasty, around 618 to 907. And it's a blue glazed mule with load. Guys, this is the original gacha. It's a baby washing a baby. After a little bit of museum and history, it's time to get some dumplings and my mode of transport. Bad boy right here. Are you fucking ready to rip? This is gonna be the last time you're gonna see me with teeth.
My car go vroom, my maid got a broom, my house got a room for some rooms with a view. I'm driving real slow like I'm running on fumes. I'm driving real slow like I'm running on fumes. 30 on the dash. Yeah, we riding slow, but that money moving fast. Look at us.
But really, Xi'An is one of the most bikeable and walkable cities I've been in, and it's so easy to get everywhere. Bugatti, 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 Bugatti. We've arrived at our dumpling place.
I'm a whole vibe, I'm a mood. They see I ate it up like food. She came, she ate, and she ain't leave no crumbs up on the plate.
Do you see this? Whoa. I feel bad for you. I know you're looking at this through the screen thinking, this looks freaking bomb. Could AI do this? Hell no. Boiled, fresh, with running hot water in a sauce mixture of a little bit of sugar, MSG, light soy, Shaanxi vinegar, which by the way is one of the most famous vinegars you can get in all of China or in the world. Sesame seeds, obviously some great chili oil and coriander to top it all off. And the dumpling shape is quite small, almost like a pilmeni. And because it's on the Muslim street, I think there is definitely some influence with, Central Asia's pilmeni style of smaller dumplings. And also on the side, you get a clove of garlic. And what people are doing is peel this off. Wow, beautiful, fresh, big garlic. You get a bite of the dumpling. So the filling inside of it is mutton. Again, it can get quite oily, right? You have the vinegar to cut through the oiliness. You have the aromatic chili oil. You have the cilantro to just brighten everything up. And you have a little bit of that spicy, fresh garlic to make everything and life feel better. Here, doobies, this one's for you. Oh. I've peaked in life. I have truly peaked in life. And a little bit of Chuan'r Tang, which is this sour plum juice that we also had in Taiwan. It's sweet, it's sour. You can think of it as Chinese lemonade. The small plums that they use are very citrusy and very fruity, and a match made in Chinese heaven. Too freaking good! So what's really cool is these noodle vendors, you have not just one type of noodle, you have all these different types of noodles, but I opted for the rice one. Chá Huà Mian. Cháo means to stir fry. He mian, these are the rice noodles. But the wok hei, you can smell the smokiness all the way from here and probably all the way from there. Super clean mise en place. So you can choose whether you want it spicy or not, but obviously I'm always gonna go for the spicy. Each noodle is not clumping, so smoky. Not gonna lie, just from the preparation, I was expecting something like pad thai, but it's very different. Instead of the sweet and salty elements, This is more smoky and spicy and aromatic. The crunch of the vegetables from the onion, the green pepper, the bean sprouts, the rice noodles are not clumping at all, which I don't know how. If you stir fry noodles, they tend to get clumped from overcooking, but this, not at all. This is exactly what you want late night. I feel like a first meal, starting off with dumplings, now some fried noodles. These are like classic brunchies. It's crunchy, it's spicy. I mean, if you have a good chili oil, everything coated in it is gonna be great. That's the key thing with Chinese cooking. Hot wok, cold oil, fast cooking. That way you blow off the moisture but retain the crunch. Easy money. On to our next target. Euro Bing. So Euro Bing means beef-filled pancake, and Bing just really literally translates to a circle. Do you see the lamination on this? So when you want to get these, you almost always have to line up for it, because the way it works, there's a guy that's stretching out the dough and then slaps it to extend it, and then does a layer of fat to laminate like you would with a croissant dough, and then goes in with a layer of meat and a lot of scallions, and then does a sprinkle of a special Xinjiang mix of cumin, fennel, and black pepper. Every restaurant has their own little spice blend, and then he rolls it up like a little tight silkworm, for lack of a better word. And then what's really cool is for the rest of the portion, he slaps it out so that the end pieces are incredibly thin. You want a thicker dough in the center to make sure that the meat is fully encapsulated, but then towards the end, you want to make sure that it's thin so that you get these incredibly flaky layers as the dough expands out. Science, bitch. And once it's rolled up, he like slams it onto the surface, and then the next guy takes over and then presses it down to make it into more of a squished cylinder shape, and then drops it into a beautiful golden oil, and then the lid goes on top. So it's kind of like in between a convection oven and a deep fryer, in a sense. I need you to hear this. It's like if you deep fried a croissant. So flaky, so thin. Insane. So you call these flaky bits lamination, which means to just put dough over oil, over dough over oil, so you get this almost like a lasagna level of flakiness. And as that cooks, the oil that's trapped inside will come up to temperature, trying to want to escape, therefore creating these bubbles and air and making it flaky. And then on this side, we're going for noodle round 2, and this is liáng. So liáng is cold noodles. These noodles are glossy, they're not clumping, they look beautiful and juicy. It's bouncy, and the sesame paste that she pours on top is nutty. With its chili oil, it's so good. It's like kind of like in between a miàn and a liáng that we had in Chengdu. Every noodle coated in this emulsified fat of chili oil and sesame paste with the large chili crisp. And the quality of the vinegar here is incredible. So we actually got these with Kenny in Chengdu, but this time we're getting it from a vendor that has a bunch of different kinds. So it's depending on the different levels of mala spice and also the thickness of the wheat gluten. Sweet, oily, chewy, perfect way to end the night. I'm gonna snack on this on my way back to the hotel, and I'll see you tomorrow for the Terracotta Army.
你好，今天我们一起去金希望陵。
That's the Korean way of saying it. But we're gonna go to the Emperor's Tomb to see the Terracotta Army soldiers. But before we do, we gotta fuel up. And we're gonna get some jianbing. So
in Korea, we have something called a 길거리 toast, and it's toast with egg and cabbage. But I feel like the equivalent breakfast item in China is jianbing. If you don't know what a jianbing is, it's a thin crepe, and every region makes it a little differently. But here in Xi'an, they use a thick batter dough, almost like a bread dough, and then uses that batter to thinly spread it across flat griddle top to make a thin crepe pancake. And I opted for the basic one with egg, swan chai, a sweet bean paste sauce, potato, and lettuce. Wow. And the creme de la creme to give it that textural difference is the crispy dough stick, youtiao. You can think of it as China's breakfast burrito. I think that's the best way to put it. The textural difference of the youtiao is still crunchy, and you have the soft egg crepe, and the potato. Man, this is probably my favorite breakfast item along with congee. And it's a breakfast morning staple item for people working because you can eat it on the go. Plus the fact that he grinded the soybeans fresh for fresh soy milk. It's fucking hot. Oh my god. Oh, it's so good. But it is scalding hot. It hits different, fresh soy milk. It just can't, it's just unbeatable. Like I can never go back to the ones that are in cardboard boxes now. There's no better way to start the day. Now I can do some sightseeing finally. It's a 42-kilometer drive, but we are going to be arriving in 81 minutes.
We made it to the Terracotta Army Museum, and we met a lady whose name is Wenyi, who's going to be taking us on a tour and telling us some of the stories of the first emperor of China.
So professional camera.
Built for the afterlife, each and every one of these life-size soldiers have different facial features and expressions.
Yeah, with a good camera, you can even see the lines, the facial expression. Yes, like in the front always younger soldiers. Why? They are the first people ready to sacrifice. They just risk their lives. But the reward also very high because the first emperor just very smart. He told all the soldiers, kill one enemy, you can get one level up. You can get a big house. Even you can get free from slavery.
Is this a lot of people usually?
And actually today is just a normal day. Usually we just see people's head. We can't see soldiers' head.
We've arrived to get some mian because it's a little chilly and we need to warm up after seeing the Terracotta Army. This was actually recommended by my Forever China influencer, which is Trevor. mian. Let's go in. I like these golden curtains. 你好. mian. So you get a little bit of noodle water on the side to help mix everything together. So we ordered the big bowl and it comes with beef, woodier mushroom, cabbage, obviously a lot of chili crisp. And wow, look at the amount of beef on the bottom. It also comes with some carrots and a bunch of vegetables. And wow, the more you uncover, the more treasures that lies underneath. Kind of like the Terracotta Army. Tell me that was a good metaphor. Please. Wow, look at the cilantro. Oh, there's even a little bit of cauliflower as well. Look at this, the chili crisp. Oh, OMG, this looks good. It feels kind of like the style of noodles is actually quite similar to a Korean Chinese dish called jjajangmyeon. In some of the older places, the guys would make the noodles in this way. So the way that this is made, you have a first initial strand and then it gets twisted and when you double knot it and put your hand in again, he does this to extend the gluten to make sure that it exponentially grows in size. So if you start with 1, becomes 2, becomes 4, becomes 16, and then becomes 196, I think. Oh no, actually it's just times 2. It's not exponential. It's 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. And you can just hear the guy pounding. They're constantly making it. The amount of force you need to slap noodles. Like imagine how sturdy the noodles are to make such a sound from this tiny little mic here. Acidic, bouncy, beefy, oily, so good. That took me like a good 2 minutes to finish my one bite. So chewy. I feel like I'm biting into like an extended rice cake. That's how bouncy and chewy this is. The texture on this is bomb. This is like what I mean by East meets Central, and I can see why this is one of the defining dishes of Xi'an, because to me, this represents Silk Road. You have all the spices from the spice trade. You have cumin, chili pepper, you have beef, and it's halal. And then you have the noodles and wheat from the East, and it's just a perfect mix of both cultures. On the side, what I thought I would never see in a Chinese restaurant is Iran, but here it's actually called Lan, which is the Chinese way of writing it. And it's even interesting the way, like the amount of characters that it uses. This is not usually the face that you would associate with as Chinese people, but this is a huge minority group in China. I like the packaging for it. It tastes like a sweet lassi. It's a thick, sweet, yogurty drink, and I understand why they sell these together, because this is spicy and this is cooling. So together, again, a perfect match. Next course, chicken.
The rain started coming down a little harder, and the streetlights started blending through the wet night as people gathered under the awnings.
Some jade drip.
On our way to dinner, the scent of freshly baked bread drifted through the air, and we found ourselves completely drawn towards it.
It smells so good. So this is freshly baked Xinjiang bread, and this is a bakery that we've been eyeing since day one, and it's encrusted with sesame, and they're making it on the spot 24/7. They have this stamp that they use to stamp it over, and it's almost in a spherical shape so that all the sesame can get encrusted, and also it can have like a little bit of grip to hold on to when it gets into the oven. It's garlicky, there's sesame, it's freshly baked bread, and nothing beats freshly baked bread. 非常好吃的. Really tasty. This is the small portion, mind you. So the name of this dish is Da Pan Ji, and Da means big, and Pan means plate, and Ji means chicken. So it literally translates to big plate chicken, which is what it quite literally is, a big plate of chicken. Once you order, it takes about 5 minutes for the order to come, and that's because they're making it fresh. And the way they're making it, they pour the oil with a little bit of sugar and dextrose, and then melt it to create a caramel, and then dropping the chicken so that it gets a caramelized color and almost like creates a coating on the outside while locking the moisture inside. Very smart technique. And then after you stir fry the chicken and get some of the chicken fat to render out, you add the chilies in so that it toasts in the chicken fat. And then you add the potatoes along with some of the aromatics. It looks splendid. And then underneath all of this is Biang Biang noodles playing little peekaboo with me. Soft, silky, absorbs all that spicy chicken sauce. I'm gonna chase it with the beautifully diagonally cut leek that's been braising. Wow, so sweet. It literally tastes like candy right now. Obviously the highlight, the qigong. It's so juicy inside. A little bit of sugar that he put in the beginning works wonders to make the chicken super juicy and tender. And onto Kevin's soul food, potatoes. And here you can see a big chunk of Sichuan peppercorn. It's freaking great. It's spicy, it's a little numbing, it's sweet coming from the leeks and the potatoes and the Sichuan peppercorn that ever so lightly makes it not so heavy and has this really addicting quality because every time I'm breathing, I get this like tingly sensation that makes me want to just eat and eat and eat and eat. The biggest difference between the food here and the food in Chengdu is that Chengdu is laced with Sichuan peppercorn and chilies, and it's amazing of its own. But here, it's a little bit more nuanced and mild. I think like every bite that we've gotten here so far in Xi'an has been freaking incredible. This one, it was not humanly possible to do clean bowl club. It was too big, but it's super tasty, so you should come check it out. I'll see you later. Zhaoshang, Buhao. If you're wondering why we're out in the middle of night, it's because we woke up early to go to the South Morning Gate Market when it is peak time. So this is a market that's open from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and it's currently 6 a.m. and the city is waking up. We're gonna bike over there and see what's up. People heading over to the market right now. Say hi, Kevin. Dude, it's already popping over here. This is not 6 p.m. This is 6 a.m. right now. It's wild. It's completely different from what it looked like the other day. There's a poultry seller and also strawberries as well and a lot of fruit. That looks so good. Look at all the fruit sellers are coming in now. And all these different colors of tomatoes. You can see people haggling for fresh morning greens harvested and so many different vegetables. It's always super fun to see what is in season and what people are eating when you come to these local markets because it's a crash course. So it spans all the way from one of the Southgate entrance to the end and it is so long. I don't know how people are up and ready at so early in the morning buying groceries, but it is a sight to see and well worth waking up early for. I know I don't sound convincing, but trust me, I do. I think I need a little bit of food to wake me up. 我们可以 mix 吗？可以。We got some biscuits to snack on while we look around the market. And they're freshly baked as we were talking. And the smell is permeating throughout the market and it was irresistible. This one is the pumpkin one. The tofu roll, wow, look at this, rolls on rolls on rolls. So I got the spicy one, obviously, and it's coated in chili oil. And this is tofu skin that's slightly smoked and sauced with soy sauce and chili oil and sesame seeds. Holy smokes. And it's insanely good. Almost has a texture like mushroom. And it has a meaty flavor and like an umami component coming from a slight smoked exterior. We also got a jerky. And it's a very big snack here in Xi'an. And it's embedded with chili like this and it's very red in color. Nice and spicy. A lot of Sichuan peppercorn embedded. It's zingy. Oh my god, it's so spicy. My mouth is on fire. Hopefully this can help it press it down a little bit. So this is a bean pudding. And then on the bottom, there's red beans. Oh, my mouth is on fire. This is a safe haven after a very spicy beef jerky. It kind of reminds me of a Thanksgiving sweet potato casserole, and I like it. After this, I'm gonna go find a drink and some more food. Wow, the sun is really coming up now and the market is waking up. Rojia mo. So there's two different types of rojia mo. One made with beef, which we got at the Muslim quarter, and then one made by the Han people, and this one is made with pork. It's kind of like a soy sauce braised pork, and they usually keep it in a simmering cauldron, and they get it out of the cauldron with the skin and everything almost like dissolving from low and slow cooking. And then you add a little bit of green pepper in between, chopped up on the spot. And then it gets sliced in between a bread that has like really almost like kind of looks like a roti and a pita mixed together, and it has this beautiful crusty lamination and swirl, but definitely more flakier than the Yangro Po that we tried 2 days ago. Pork is super tender. It's almost like pork floss because it's so flaky. I like that at the end he adds a little bit of the braising liquid back into the sandwich to give it some moisture. And the green peppers, they're small, but they do a lot of work right now. It's bitter, it's crunchy, it's fresh. It adds that kick that the pork sandwich needs. Right next to the Rojamo stall, the guy was making fresh, tiny little wontons, and the steam rising from it on a cold spring day like this, it was irresistible. The technique that he does to scrunch it, he just does this, but he makes it look so easy. Pork is nice and juicy. The wrapping is actually so incredibly good. I've never had a wonton where the wrapper tasted this fresh and silky and smooth. Like the filling is good, but it's actually the dough that's really the highlight of the show for this wonton soup. Wow.
Afterwards, we wandered through the market a little more, too full to eat anything else, looking at what people were buying. Kevin and I have been really into brewing cold tea at home for the past year, so when we saw a tea seller offering freshly harvested tea from this year, we decided to pick some up for a little souvenir to bring back home.
So this is Laozo, and this is one of the defining drinks of Shaanxi, and we decided to get this one. It's a fermented rice drink. I think we had a good run. We're gonna go back to the hotel and take a mini power nap before heading out and drink some of our rice fermented drink. After I woke up from my nap, the weather is so nice, and on a warm spring day like this, I want to eat some liangfen. So we're gonna get some liangfen. Oh, but before we do, I almost forgot. This is our fermented rice drink. Not gonna lie, straight after I woke up from my nap, I took a sip of this. It was fermented indeed. Hopefully this helps me shit because I've been constipated. Too many carbs, too many noodles, too much meat, too many flavor. It's actually quite good. Once you get used to the smell of it, it's actually just like drinkable yogurt with chunks, which is the rice. Tastes healthy. But I need some coffee. Our first luck in coffee. So you don't order with somebody, you have to like have the app, and it like minimizes human to human contact. Today I think we're just gonna stick with the basics because I just need some coffee. This is my second attempt at trying to fix my constipation. Pretty good. This was only 9.9 yuan. So cheap. Next time I'm gonna try a funky drink. Today was a means of survival. Wow, look at the murals. These are the Hui people.
At Old He family's liangfen, which is served over finely shredded bread, they specialize in serving cold rice jelly cut into noodles, then topped off with luzi, which is their signature peppery gravy, then smothered with garlic, mustard, vinegar, and most importantly, majiang, aka sesame paste, and topped off with chili oil.
It looks beautiful. Look at all the colors. It's like a painting. Silky, smooth,
spicy, cooling. I'm gonna have it with a little bit of the century egg. If you don't know what a century egg is, it's a duck egg that's been preserved almost like in ammonia, and I know that sounds really awful, but once you get into it, it is unbelievably addicting. It has like kind of like a Chinese blue cheese, nutty sesame paste, spicy chili oil, funky century egg with the cooling sensation of the liang pi, a little bit of the minced garlic to cut through everything, and the most important component is actually the spicy mustard. It adds that ever so slight je ne sais quoi to the dish. On the bottom, remember our bread from earlier that we cut into small pieces? That is absorbing all the sauce and as a carrier along with the liang pi, and adds kind of like a textural difference. I thought it was meat at first, but then I remembered, oh, it's the bread from earlier. Texture is amazing with the bread and the liang pi. It's a cold dish and it's perfect for this type of weather. Definitely going on the top 3 list for our bites in Xi'an, and we've been eating very, very well. So this is a fenzeng roll. I got carried away explaining because just now I had a conversation with our boss in the front about whether there were a lot of Muslim people in Denmark. I don't know how it's possible with my limited Chinese, but we had a full-blown conversation about whether Muslims in China also have Ramadan, and he was explaining that it was for 30 days. They don't eat while the sun is up, and it's called bi zai. Pretty freaking cool. Oh my gosh. They're butchering a whole lamb over there, and it's actually the Xinjiang lamb with the really big fatty tail and booty, which I learned from Little Chinese Everywhere. Shout out, girl, I love your videos. This is rice powder steamed with cured lamb meat. The consistency of it is kind of giving like overnight oats if I didn't put enough water. By curing the lamb meat, it does get a little bit more gamier. There is a little bit of Sichuan peppercorn that kind of brightens up the dish, but I'm gonna be completely honest with you, it is time for another, if I grew up with it, I could see why this is really good, but as somebody who didn't grow up with it, it is definitely a little on the gamier side, but as somebody who didn't grow up with it, it is a little bit intense.
Afterwards, we headed over to do some sightseeing and arrived at the Great Mosque of Xi'an. The Great Mosque of Xi'an was originally built in 742 during the Tang Dynasty. Later on, it got rebuilt in the Ming Dynasty, which is why you see traditional Chinese temple-like structures more than Middle Eastern mosques.
Like, this is very different from what you think of when you imagine mosque, like the big domes. Here, it's Chinese architecture, and what's interesting is the shape of the arch of the roofs is very pointy. It's beautiful.
In Chinese building, blue and green glazed elements are often used for beauty, symbolism, and the contrast between wood and stone. And blue can also evoke the sky and a calmer, more sacred feeling. It is still an active mosque and continues to be used as a place of prayer today for the community. No visit to the temple is complete without some street food snacks, and one of the things we were yet to cross off our list of things we wanted to try were Persimmon Donuts.
And it gets its color from the persimmons. As you can see right here, he's making them fresh. We've been looking everywhere to find a small store that's making them fresh, and we finally found it. So ooey and gooey. Persimmon naturally has a lot of fiber and pectin, so it firms up really, really well. But to get this beautiful color is another. And inside is filled with this beautiful, slightly sour black sesame and nut mixture that is incredible. It almost makes it look like the actual persimmon seed inside. And the filling is a little sour and nutty. 非常好吃的. Wow. Persimmons are one of my favorite fruits of all time. And in Korea, we actually don't make any desserts with it, which is such a shame. Incredible. 谢谢老板，谢谢。你很漂亮。 This lady buttering me up and I'm buttering her up. So it's little baby potatoes before they're fully grown, and it gets confit in oil like this. And then you add spices like chili flakes and black pepper and spices, and it gets pan fried for a final finish like this. Looks gorgeous. Actually, baby fingerling potatoes is something that I was indoctrinated in Denmark, and ever since I have been searching for these, and never did I think that I would find them here in Xi'An. The spice that they use is the same spice that you sprinkle on for the lamb skewers. It's absolutely delicious. Like when you confit potatoes, it's even better than cooking it in water, and it gets almost like a silky, waxy bite to it that baked potato cannot even compete with. And these baby fingerlings, they're so condensed in flavor, and it's something that you can only get in the spring when it's potato season. You get a strong cumin scent coming through along with the chili flakes, and it is fantastic. And you don't have to worry about the skin because these are babies, so the skin is super thin and it adds a really nice textural to it. It's so good. This is kind of like a one-pot hot pot. Look at the chili oil rising to the top, and the aromatics of this is insane. You have the mushroom, the beef broth, the chili oil rising to the top. There's a fantastic mala spice that's coming through. You have a clean yet rich beef broth coming through. But what I really want to try is the quail leg on top. So right before serving, he does a big dusting of white pepper. Amazing. That's just your average trash truck in Xi'An. He puts in these thin vermicelli noodles that just completely absorb all the chili oil and sauce because it gets cooked in the broth. So good. This is what I used to think. I used to think Haidilao, but this right here, the level of spice and the topping for this price range is insane. This is something I'm gonna miss so much when I go to Korea. I can literally eat hot pot every single day of my life. Wow. The texture of the seaweed noodle, a little bit of the bean curd now. It's literally steaming right now. Look at the tofu also. Like, we're in the land of tofu nepotism. I truly believe that this is just the best place for soy products. Wow, the mala spice is incredible. No matter what, broth will always flow through me. And the earthenware pot is perfect to make sure that the heat retains so it stays warm for a long time, or else the oil on top will solidify. The boss is so kind to us. He brought us extra water, which we will be paying. Wow, this is like happiness in a stoneware pot. So the name of this dish actually contains wanzi, which is this meatball, and I feel like that is the most Xi'An thing. Wherever you go, you'll sell places that are selling these meatballs, and this is made with beef, tender, juicy, and goes perfectly with the mala spice and the tinginess. You don't need much meat to make a great meal. You just need a little bit as a seasoning, is what I believe. Let's eat. That was one of the best meals. I might be biased because I love hot pot. Pre-game with hot pot. Now it's time for some dumplings. This place is a factory. jiaozi, aka dumplings. So these are steamed dumplings, and even though I have a wide angle camera, meaning some of the things look warped, this is a massive plate of dumplings. And you can tell that it's soup dumplings because it's very jiggly. A good indication to whether a soup dumpling is well made is if it doesn't break, and this passes the test. It's jiggly, it doesn't have shape or form. You might think that I'm sidetracking, but I'm actually not. One of the biggest reasons why people watch YouTube instead of TV is because I can say whatever I want, and this looks like a scrotum. So when you order, you get this chili oil and vinegar mix. Delicious. Ooh, a lot of sesame oil in this one. And you want to kind of, for lack of a better word, teabag this. So you're supposed to drink the broth first to not scald yourself. That's so good. So these are mutton dumplings. And when you get that first sip of the juices, it slightly burns your tongue, but it's a pure, clean, oily broth that just completely fills your mouth. But what's really amazing about this is how strongly enforced the dumpling wrapper is. The dumpling wrapper is also incredibly tasty. Because it didn't rip, it's a good indication that it's very sturdy and it still has a really nice bite to it. I know I said that my favorite dumpling will always be boiled dumpling, but the exception goes to soup dumplings. You have mutton, a little bit of celery, leeks, and it's incredibly flavorful. It's not too salty, it's juicy, it is perfectly cooked. And look how thick the dumpling wrapper is. You know, this is a good balance of wheat to meat to soup ratio. So this is the sweet porridge that is often eaten as a dessert slash a meal for a lot of Hui people. And it's completely covered in sunflower seeds. There's boiled peanuts, an assortment of goodies inside. But yeah, we asked if this is usually eaten as a dessert after the jiaozi or if it can be eaten in between, and he said both okay. Slightly sweet, but not too overly sweet. It's warm, it's comforting. I like the texture of the boiled peanuts that kind of cuts it in between. Sour and sweet, comforting. This is much, much better than morning oats that I eat when I'm back home. We need to up our oatmeal game. It's actually the perfect match together. I was wondering why they sell both of these together here, but you have the meaty, soupy dumplings, and you kind of want to cut it with a little bit something sweet. It's a good mix, actually. I can see why people order it at the same time.
And that is it for day 4. We ended the night by watching some guys practice their kung fu, and I'll see you again tomorrow.
Good morning. I may or may not have had a little bit of a hot pot belly last night, so I need to calm it down with something a little soothing. So let's head over to breakfast.
Cha. But underneath is a toasted sesame and flour porridge, and then it gets topped off with ma hua, which are these twisted donuts, and it's crunchy fried donuts. And then there's soybeans, peanuts, and a tofu skin, and also an egg. But it smells super toasty because of the grinded sesame on top. Nothing like I've ever seen. It's slightly. Yeah. Gotta nod. Yeah, it kind of looks like kanji with youtiao, but except this one is more twisted and a lot more textural things going on.
好吃的。
面食都不吃吗？
面食我不吃，但是我喜欢麻花。韩国人喜欢米饭。
米饭那个面包。
面包呀，对对。He asked if Korean people eat this, and I said in Korea we don't eat mahua, but we like rice. Really good. I love the grounded sesame. I'm gonna have it with a little bit of the egg. So this is a soy marinated egg. Salty, easy on the stomach, texturally popping. I really like the tofu skin that's deep fried and the soybeans. That adds like a nice protein element to it. It's great breakfast. Donuts are a little dense though, but I think that's just how it is. I think people here prefer the texture of dense that soaks up liquid more than fluffy and light. Also on the side, this was kind of like a 1+1 deal and I didn't know. We got an extra plate of zhengao, or sticky dates. This time it has beans, big ass kidney beans. So good. This and mango sticky rice are my top 2 favorites. I might just like sticky rice. Don't doubt me. One of our first meals in Xi'an was Yangro Po Mo, but this is the spicy soup version, and a version where instead of cutting up the bread into smaller pieces, you just dunk it on the side so that you can really enjoy the soup. When you order, he gets this massive knife and cuts thin slices. You could either order beef or lamb, and I went with lamb today. It smells so good. Look at this. Look at how beautiful this is. Wow, this broth is so addicting. He has this gigantic cauldron of broth just boiling over. And then on the side, he's constantly skimming the fat and has a bowl reserved only for the fat. And right before you serve it, he adds a little bit of the fat so that you can see this beautiful bubble. You know, right now, if you go to a hipster wine bar, everyone's doing these Nordic style split oil, but the originator of the split oil is actually here. Kevin's nostrils just went. It's true though. The reason why you do it is so that not everything just gets emulsified and cloudy. You get this layer of fat like this, that it separates, so that it's pretty. I love thin vermicelli noodles. Oh, so soft. I was expecting the meat to have a little bit of a bite, but it's so soft and tender. This time I'm gonna cut a little bit of bread. Personally, I like this more than Yangro Po Mo because there's spice, and also I like that there's broth and bread separately, and the bread has a good texture, and you can also just enjoy the broth on its own instead of it completely absorbing everything. I like both. But personally, I love this. Incredible broth. Lamb is so soft. I love the greens on top. Vermicelli noodle, the tempering process, making the bowl warm while cooking the noodles. Incredible. So much technique and a little bit of garlic. I love this. I think this is ingenious. I have a little fattier piece here. This is DIY minced garlic. This is a microplane. So good. I love eating outside. So many people are eating outside because the weather's so nice.
At this point, I was so full from all the food, so we headed over to Lianhu Park to see what all the retired Chinese baddies were up to.
So full.
I was feeling so full, so we decided a session of cardio was necessary with my man on the lake. Before I knew it, I was ready for a little caffeine boost, so we stopped by a tea shop for some Hong Cha, which translates to red tea, but in the West it's called black tea because the name refers to the color of the leaves rather than the drink itself. After every tea break is a mandatory rice cake session, and we saw a lady selling rose-infused rice cakes on a street cart, so we hurried over for a portion.
Every tea break needs to be followed up with a rice cake break. So in between, these are actually tea leaves. Wow. Rice cake is super soft and supple. You have all the sesame seeds that are grounded, giving it a really nice nutty texture. And the sweet syrup drizzled on top kind of like helps make it really moist and supple. There's a lot of layer of depth. If the date sticky rice is just kind of like just sweet, which I love, this has definitely more levels of complexity and a bit of bitterness, some nuttiness, a bit of textural difference as well, and it is really freaking good. Most importantly, not too sweet, so I could eat a whole bucket load of these. What really gives it another layer of complexity is the rose and mandarin peel syrup that gets drizzled over, and it gets an incredibly fragrant smell. One of the best I've ever tried. They figured out the secret to life. Tea, rice cake, and chill. So this is Po Mian. So yu means oil, po means to pour, and mian is noodle. So it's oil pour over noodles. And quite literally, what she does is she does a big scoop of chili flakes and a hot sizzling oil sprayed on top, so it makes on the spot chili oil like this. You could change between two types of noodle types. One where it was a long noodle, where it's just literally just like one noodle, but really, really elongated, or Biang Biang. I love the texture of Biang Biang, so I decided to go for this one. The chili oil is mixing. It's a little bit different in terms of the toppings for Biang Biang. Even though the noodles are the same, the things that are on top are different. This has instead some cabbage, some eggplant, a little bit of tomato and egg stew as well. Wow, 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 wow. Look how saucy and glossy that looks. That was a max head tilt. I feel like I've been doing so many head tilts on this trip, but every bite I take is an automatic head tilt. I see why Ice Peak is the drink that represents Xi'An, because you have saucy, glossy noodles and you want to calm your taste buds down with a little bit of sweet mandarin fizzy. Also got a rojia mo because apparently we just have a hole in our stomach when we're in Xi'An.
Afterwards, we headed over to the Big Goose Pagoda to catch one of China's biggest water fountain shows and to watch a Chinese kid playing Chinese GTA on his phone.
We're just waiting for the waterworks to come up. I think it's supposed to be a waterworks and light show. There were a lot of people waiting, so we decided to wait also.
What you see in the background is the Big Wild Goose Pagoda. It was built in 652 during the Tang Dynasty to house the Buddhist scriptures and images that the monk Xuan'er brought back from India. It's one of Xi'an's strongest surviving links to Tang Dynasty and the Silk Road, but because it is such a major destination for many local tourists, the area turns into one big theme park at night with shows and futuristic Tang-inspired designs. Xi'an is the Tang Dynasty theme park by the lake called Tang Paradise. It was built on the site of the old Tang era garden, but what you see today is a landscape reconstruction meant to recreate the atmosphere of the Tang Dynasty, which apparently had TikTok lanterns 1400 years ago.
In the part of the city that never sleeps, we're gonna go eat dinner at a 24-hour restaurant. It's like completely packed inside and it's 10 o'clock. Kevin wanted to try baijiu. This is what it looks like. And then it comes like this. This is to check that it's 100 milliliters. And as with baijiu, because it's really strong, you want to sip it little by little. What percent do you think this is?
45.
It is 53. And for a wuss like me, this is my drink, and this is one of the most iconic drinks that you can drink in Xi'an, and it's miju, and it's a fermented rice drink. You can get it either hot or cold, but then I asked like, what do Xi'an people usually drink it as? And she said people here usually drink it warm. So the smell is definitely more acidic and stronger. We also have a fermented rice drink in Korea called makgeolli, but this definitely smells more yogurty and sour. Oh, it's so yummy. So this is one of the dishes that we had to try while we're in Xi'an, as well as the breaded chicken. It kind of looks like a old style Korean fried chicken that's like fried whole, except it's like with the head intact. It must have been cooked before being breaded and deep fried because it's almost falling off the bone. Ooh, we have our beautiful fish soup, and you can see inside they use potatoes and the slivers of fish that gets cooked low and slow with lots of oil, so it gets almost comfy and buttery. It's sour, it's spicy. There's actually like a tomato flavor coming through. It definitely gets colder during the night, and this is warming my soul. This is the dent we've done. Is gonna be all for today. It was the long day 5. I'll see you again tomorrow morning. Wanan.
I woke up this morning, got me feeling brand new like I know
We got company.
他是哪里人呢？
我是韩国人，
韩国
他是丹麦的。
丹麦丹麦。
And while I don't know how, with my limited Chinese, we slowly became friends as we waited for our foods to come.
西红柿鸡蛋面。
哎
Okay. Wow. So this is tomato and egg with noodles. This is a very classic, actually southern dish, but it's also eaten in Xi'an. We've been seeing a lot of places selling great tomatoes and eggs. We have everywhere. We got both our orders. So this is stir-fried chicken noodles, and this is the specialty of this place that everyone was ordering this morning. And you have these big, beautiful chilies. 鸡肉辣椒是 She's saying this is different from the Xinjiang big plate chicken because this has more noodles, and you can see that. So this is the noodle that they're using. Wow, saucy, and you have the green peppers and the chicken bites. Wow, look at this. They use beautiful green peppercorns. I'm gonna start with the tomato first though. Looks bomb. She's like, hurry up and eat. A gentle, familiar taste, and that is always welcome. Tomato and egg were meant to be together, and look at how beautiful and big these tomato pieces are. And you can see the egg, it's almost like fluffy and silky. This is like a classic breakfast dish that's enjoyed in all of China. The texture of the noodles is insane. It's funny because we had a very similar dish in Hong Kong at a chachanteng, but instead of wheat noodles, it was with ramen. So it's fun to see the different styles differing on the region. Now for our chow mian, which is stir-fried noodles.
I see why this is the signature dish of this place. As soon as you bite it, like you get the Sichuan peppercorn numbing your senses. It's salty. You have a chickeny flavor coming through. But what's really amazing is actually this chili oil that's covered in it. It's so aromatic and not too heavy actually. And you get a very smoky wok hei smell coming through from the chilies that are almost like burnt to the crisp. And it creates like a smoked flavor. Like I'm eating like barbecue in the form of noodles. Wow. And the green peppers adds like a nice bitter but crunchy note. You have the chicken that's soft and silky. 非常好吃的。맛있어.
南岛。
南岛？我听不懂。听不懂。Lovely conversation with my very elementary Chinese. There was a lot of noodles, but it was very good. 好吃. Oh, after something hot and spicy, we need to cool down with something sour and sweet. So we're gonna get a fun little Tang drink. The guys were trying to decide whether they were gonna drink it or not, and he was like, I make it all by myself. This is not like some store-bought shit. And he has a lot of pride for it, and you can tell. Actually, when you buy a Tang from different places, it's usually just bottled and pre-packaged. But this one, I could see that he was making it fresh. So this is my fun drink of the day. But what's also different is here in Xi'An, they blend it with a bunch of different spices and dried fruits. So there's another layer of aromatic. Very nice. This is also a digestive, so it really helps press everything down to get in more food. We were on our way biking and we saw this place with a huge line and a lot of patrons visiting. So we got some rice balls. So this one is the sesame walnut. The rice cake is like barely staying intact with the filling. It's so soft. And it's packed to the brim with walnut and sesame. And then this one is the black sesame. The rice cake around it is so soft. Like it's literally melting right now. Very nice. You can see why it's popular. Right now, I'm getting the ultimate Chinese influencer makeup, and it's called Wang Hong. It's super fun to see the different beauty standards here. Wow.
I'm the best he ever had. Bad bitch, fly me out first class.
You shall bow to me.
Is you mad? Cause he on my body so bad. I'm the best he ever had. Bad bitch, fly me out first class. No brakes, so I'm doing a dash. Is you mad? Cause he on my body so bad.
We are at an amusement park / theme park to take photos, and it was included in the package where we dressed up, and wow, our photographer was professional. And yeah, we're ending our 6 days, 150 hours in the oldest city in China here. I hope you enjoyed watching this one as much as I did, and I'll see you again in the next video. 晚安 doobies!